Ever thought your utility bill was high? How about $1 million for a month's water usage? Welcome to the world where the cost of turning on a tap might just break the bank. Today, we're stepping into a realm of utility bills so steep they make your monthly subscription services look like pocket change. Imagine opening your mailbox to find a bill that demands a payment not just in thousands but in millions for something as basic as water. Sounds like a plot from a dystopian novel, right? But hold on to your seats, because this isn't fiction. We're about to explore cases where water meters ran wild and financial statements turned into nightmares. From a $1 million leak to a heating bill that eclipses the cost of the house itself, we've gathered the top 5 most outrageous utility bills ever recorded. These aren't just numbers, they're stories of astonishment, confusion, and sometimes sheer disbelief. Stay tuned as we dive into the first jaw-dropping bill story. First up, imagine returning from vacation to find a water bill demanding over $1 million. This was the shocking reality for a family in California who opened their mailbox to find a bill that would make anyone's heart skip a beat. A whopping $1.3 million for a month's water usage. The culprit? A seemingly innocuous leak in their irrigation system. While the family was away, enjoying sandy beaches and sunsets, back home, a small, unnoticed malfunction in their irrigation had turned into a financial tsunami. This tiny leak, unchecked and flowing freely for over a month, resulted in an astronomical amount of water loss. The family's first reaction was disbelief, followed by a growing sense of panic. How could a small leak lead to such a financial disaster? The news of their $1 million water bill quickly captured media attention, turning their personal shock into a public spectacle. Next, a winter heating bill that was more expensive than the house itself. Picture this, a quaint little cottage in the snowy landscapes of Maine, where winters can be as picturesque as they are fierce. For one homeowner, this idyllic scene turned into a financial nightmare when they received their heating bill for the winter season. A staggering $200,000. How did this happen? Well, it all started with a malfunctioning heating system. Instead of turning off when the desired temperature was reached, the system ran non-stop, day and night. This incessant operation not only drove up the fuel consumption to extraordinary levels, but also meant that every tick of the clock was a tick towards an astronomical utility bill. The homeowner, initially bewildered by the amount, contacted the heating company expecting a quick resolution. However, things didn't go as smoothly as hoped. The utility company claimed that the meter readings were accurate and initially insisted that the bill was justified. This left the homeowner facing a bill that was more than the total cost they had paid for their home. The situation seemed dire, but then came the power of community and public support. As news of this outrageous bill spread, local media picked up the story. And it wasn't long before it garnered national attention. Public outcry was immense, with people from all corners expressing their disbelief and calling for action. Sensing the growing pressure, the utility company agreed to investigate the matter thoroughly. It was finally acknowledged that a fault in their system had caused the heating unit to malfunction. The bill was adjusted and the homeowner was no longer on the hook for the price of another house. Could you afford to pay more for heat than you did for your home? Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe, follow, like, comment, and share this video for more unbelievable stories. Now let's switch to electricity with a shocking bill of $50,000. Imagine being a small bakery owner in the bustling streets of New York, crafting delicious pastries and breads for the neighborhood. Now, imagine receiving an electric bill that's more than your entire year's earnings. $50,000 for just 1 month's electricity. This isn't a plot from a surreal movie. This actually happened. The Little Corner Bakery, a beloved local spot known for its croissants and cakes, was rocked by this astronomical charge. The owner, Maria, initially thought it was a practical joke, but the reality of the situation quickly sank in, sparking a wave of panic. $50,000 could cripple her small business, which was already grappling with the tight margins typical of the food industry. But how did this happen? It turned out to be a simple yet costly error, a faulty meter reading. The electric meter at the bakery had malfunctioned, recording power consumption that was leagues above the actual usage. When Maria received the bill, she knew something was amiss. Her bakery, cozy and modest, couldn't possibly have used enough electricity to power a small factory. Determined to not let her dream crumble under an erroneous utility bill, Maria reached out to the power company, armed with months of previous bills to show the usual electric consumption of her bakery. It took several stressful weeks, during which the community rallied around Maria, supporting her through petitions and social media campaigns. Finally, the power company conducted a thorough investigation and acknowledged the mistake. Ever thought you could be charged for lighting up the whole town? Well, imagine the shock of a man from Illinois when he opened his electricity bill to find a staggering charge that would make even a city treasurer blink. This wasn't just any high bill. This was a citywide error. Our tale begins on a regular day in the quiet suburbs where our protagonist, let's call him John, lived. John, like most of us, was used to the routine of monthly bills: electricity, water, internet, the usual suspects. But this month, his electricity bill was the star of a financial horror show. Instead of the typical few $100s, the figure on the bill was astronomical. What had happened? Well, due to a clerical error, the charges for the entire city's street lighting had found their way onto John's bill. Yes, every street lamp, every neon sign that lit up the night skies of his town was apparently his fiscal responsibility. The error was a result of a misplaced decimal point, a simple mistake in the utility company's billing system that had monumental consequences. Upon discovering this financial faux pas, John's initial reaction was disbelief, quickly followed by a frantic analysis of past bills. Had he been paying more than he should have all along? His next step was a call to the utility company, a call that would be the first of many. The customer service representative was equally baffled, assuring him that this was indeed a mistake and would be rectified. However, rectifying such a colossal error was not as swift as one might hope. This billing blunder took weeks to resolve, involving numerous phone calls, emails, and the inevitable stress that comes with financial uncertainty. Through this ordeal, John learned a vital lesson. Always scrutinize your bills, no matter how mundane they seem. Errors, while rare, can happen, and their impact can be as significant as paying for a city's worth of electricity. Checking your bill might just save you from paying for the city's electricity. Now, let's wrap up with our final outrageous bill. Last but not least, a gas bill that broke records and nearly broke the bank. Picture this. An elderly couple in Pennsylvania who typically pay a modest sum for their gas bill suddenly faced a staggering demand for $92,000. Yes, you heard that right. This wasn't just a bill. It was a financial nightmare printed on paper. Now, how does a regular gas bill transform into the price of a luxury car overnight? Well, it turns out a simple yet disastrous decimal error during the billing process was the culprit. A misplaced decimal point escalated a reasonable bill to a figure that left the couple reeling. The distress was palpable. The couple, already stretched on a fixed income, were thrown into a state of anxiety and confusion. How could they possibly afford this? Thankfully, this story took a turn for the better after the couple reached out to local media. The attention spurred a swift review and correction of the bill by the gas company. These stories remind us to always double-check our utility bills, no matter how reliable we think our providers are. From million-dollar leaks to citywide charges, today's tales of outrageous utility bills were nothing short of spectacular. We kicked off with a staggering $1 million water bill due to an unnoticed leak that could float a small ship. Then, we moved on to a home where the heating bill was more than the house's market value. Imagine heating your home but almost buying it again. Next, we encountered an electric bill of $50,000 after a faulty meter went unchecked. It's shocking how quickly charges can accumulate. Our journey continued with an entire city getting billed due to a software glitch, highlighting just how impactful a single error can be. And finally, we wrapped up with a record-breaking gas bill that left everyone gasping. It was like the meter was running a marathon. If you enjoyed these unbelievable utility bill nightmares, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Drop a comment below if you've ever received a shockingly high bill. Until next time, keep an eye on those meters.